Okay, okay. I wasn't planning on doing another video, but just saw Spider-Man, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and put a link to the tweet that made me even come up with this idea. Regardless, the main reason I even made this video is because I was in this comment section, and it just pisses me off. It genuinely does when fans. We have like Tobey Maguire fans, we have Andrew Garfield fans, and we have the Tom Holland fans. And technically we now have the Miles Morales from the Spider-Verse, which isn't, depending on what they decide to do, it's its own, it's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man. Yes, it's not it has Peter Parker, but it's not about Peter Parker, because Spider-Man in that world is Miles Morales. That's not what I'm getting into. That's not really... People, I think we can all agree that Spider-Verse is an amazing movie. It's artistic, and it's brilliant. A lot of people shut it off because it's animated, it's cartoony. That's a stereotype. Whatever. That's their opinion. They don't like it. It's less normied. If you really want to think about it that way, for like the true fans. But recently, because I've been seeing this on Twitter too, Kristen Dunst, I think that's her name. I'm not very smart. She's now been getting into it by saying that the Sam Raimi movies have nothing on... No. Sam Raimi movies can never be topped. And, I literally grew up with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. And in my, because I'm biased when I say this, and I think I have every right to be, he was my Spider-Man. And he always will be. And I remember having my room filled with nothing but Spider-Man stickers, just decked out with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is my favorite hero. But the thing is, as much as I love him, as much as I love Tobey Maguire and I love those movies, I can't let bias take the best of me. Because for one, I literally go to school for film, and in terms of the movies, they aren't perfect. But they're not bad either. And the thing is, in terms of what this new Marvel unit, like the Avengers and Tom Holland, what he's been doing, those writers, they've been taking a lot of care and giving each of those I honestly don't really care about those other superheroes. My main concern has always been Spider-Man. And it took me up until Infinity War to even start watching him. Because, I watched the first Iron Man when it came out, because it was 2008. I was a kid. I was watching that and all the Transformer stuff. And then at some point, I think it was around... I think after the first Avenger came out, I stopped really I never really was big into the comic book stuff, because I thought, it's cringy and it's superheroes and capes, it's dorkish and all that stuff, and I still kind of do. But here's the thing: as a film major, I plan to write my own things and create good stories, essentially, and it took me a lot to finally admit that this new, Marvel Studios they tell really good stories. And they do it in such a way that is continuous. It doesn't break character. It's organized, it's thought out, and it's executed well. And I think in terms of storytelling that they do a very good job, especially with the new Tom Holland. He's been given a lot of care and all of that. And, he is this generation's Spider-Man. And I fully support whatever they decide to do, considering what they put out 2 movies. yeah, people don't like him and whatnot because we just have this constant bickering over Sam Raimi movies are better. No, actually, Tom Holland's better. And then we got them third party. Oh, Andrew Garfield was actually the best. Okay, buddy. Yeah, I saw the first. I'll give you my spiel on Andrew Garfield. He Peter Park, like, that wasn't. Yeah, it says Spider Man, the Amazing Spider Man, but like you gotta remember what makes Spider Man like Peter Parker. What Peter Parker is as a character. The second I saw Andrew Garfield, what was he? Was skateboarding and he was a photographer. Dude's he was too cool. I know that sounds so weird to say, and but I can understand why people like that because some people just like cool characters. Like some people don't really want to see development per se, and that's. I mean, in all honesty, that's like my one thing. I probably don't really have anything to say other than that, because I saw the first one, and I was like, okay, it's just. I guess I like to see growth, and yeah, there was some growth in there, but I don't know. I have to rewatch it to really give a valid opinion because it just sounds like I'm not even giving it its full thing. They came out with two movies, and from what I know, in the second one, Gwen dies, so that's some pretty hard stuff. So I might go ahead and rewatch that and maybe change my opinion because I like to see if you're gonna make somebody die, and when you're writing that, and your intentions are to not make it vain, and it's like clear to the audience, and you go ahead and I'll be honest with you. I remember seeing those clips when she actually dies. That's pretty dark. And recently, I've been getting into watch like a YouTube video. I think I'll try to link it too. It was so there's like because I've been getting into comics, so like in turn like comics. I've been watching anime and all this stuff. I've never done it before, but I've been doing it because they're popular for a reason and they tell the story. And this is studying for me. If I want to get technical and go ahead and justify me just watching cartoons and watching superhero movies, that's my justification for it. Regardless, what was I gonna say? So, anyways, it's called Marvel Zombies, and in the video is stated that that comic, like that version of Spider-Man, was the purest version. And you come to say, what? It's zombies. That's not true. But this is what I'm coming down to. What makes when you write a character and you adapt it to film, because first and foremost, there's a stigma, not a stigma, it's like an ongoing thing. Adapting a book to a movie is a very difficult task because a lot of what is written in there is lost because it's not properly conveyed. And what's usually lost, but here's the thing, some people don't truly, I guess, have the eyes to see whether or not it's being conveyed, because an action speaks more than 1,000 words. And when you watch a movie, go to the movie theater, you can't pause and rewind to catch that like you can in a book. You have, like, that's why every time you see a movie, you see stuff you didn't notice before. And that essentially, it gives it a re-watch value. And, people reread books. And the thing is, there's a lot of subtleties, and this leads into why I even saw that video about the Spider-Verse thing, and then it led to all that. It just all comes down to it. It's those small, subtle details that further show the emotions that are being conveyed. Those small little details are essentially those sentences that aren't literally being said out of the mouth. You can't read it because you're seeing it. It's essentially the same thing, but it's on screen. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the luxury to go over and rewatch, because when you have a book. Oh wait, I didn't understand that sentence. You can reread it as many times as you want because it's not digital, and yada yada yada, and that's fine. But we're reaching that era where books have become less popular because everything's so digitized. Therefore, watching movies has become it's huge for a reason. It's the modern day. It's the modernization of books. I want to say, not I'll be honest with you. I haven't read a book in a while, and I probably should, but I'm technically reading. If you really want to get technical, like I've been starting to read mangas. That's a whole different tangent, but yeah, it has pictures in it. I like to visualize it because, in my opinion, I like it. Obviously it helps me visualize, but I'll be honest with you. Last time I read a good book, it feels satisfying because you come up with those images in your head. It's your own imagination, and that's the beauty about books that the adaptations struggle with. Everybody has their own unique thoughts, and everybody pictures it all the same way. And the really tough part about making a film today based off something that was once written in a book before it got famous, like in a book or was in a comic or whatever, it got written that way and then it got adapted to the movies, is because people, I personally believe, it's just they didn't imagine it that way, and they fell in love with that story because they saw it in their own way, and they feel like they're being disrespected because they go ahead. It's like, oh, this director, I don't like this director because I don't agree with his style. Wow, he's making that character look like that. That's not what he looks like at all. You can also argue with the whole. I don't know if you guys know this, but the whole Ariel situation, and it just came down to being it blatantly racism because apparently, you can go ahead and do your own research on that because that's honestly a little bit controversial. And I, but I will say this, from what I've read and the little I've read, it is the whole reason it's controversial is because of racism, and called the CEO of racism, that's just canceled. But yeah. Anyways, like, so yeah, I've gone on a huge tangent. Long story short, I am terrible at summarizing things. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and link. If you're interested in Spider-Man, I'll go ahead and link that YouTube video about Spider-Man being in his purest form, and I'm gonna also link the tweet that even got me to make this video. And if nah, I'm not gonna go ahead and say it. We got comment sections for a reason, so if there's something that I'm saying and I'm spitting facts in your opinion, or I'm just being stupid, go ahead and tell me that. Haha. Yeah.